Hey everybody, welcome back to the Metal Mill 52 workshop. My name is Bill, this is my shop. In this episode I'll show a little bit of the unboxing of a new toy, as my wife calls it, a little Sherline mill, and I'll show how I've cleaned up this workspace and have it ready to go. Little Sherline collection growing now with a lathe and a mill. So hope you enjoy the episode. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. It gives me the encouragement to keep making videos like this. If you have any questions, please ask, and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you. Have a great week. Here's the Sherline mill. Checked it out, and it seems in pretty good shape. There is one thing I noticed: it wouldn't sit flat on the table, on this table. So I went around to see if there was something wrong, and it looks like it's been dropped on this one corner, and it's basically raised a burr with the bottom portion here. So happy enough, it's simple enough, I can just file that flat. So I'll do that, and everything else seems intact. So pretty happy with that. Perfect project for a Saturday to get that thing up and running. And speaking of Saturday projects, I'm almost embarrassed to show you this, but everybody in the workshop world will understand this. This is my old woodworking workbench, which has become a catch-all for everything that you see here. And it's my project today to clear this thing entirely, clean the table off. The only thing that should live on here will be the Sherline lathe here under the paper, or under the old t-shirt there, and my granite surface plate that I got from Enco many years ago. And everything else will be off, and I'll have a place to keep the Sherline lathe and the Sherline mill, and hopefully a nice working area here. So that's the old project today. Beautiful sunny Saturday. I just finished doing the yard work, and there's football on TV, so I can listen to that while I clean up in here. See ya. Well, my little Sherline adventure this weekend. This is the 4-inch rotary table that I built. It's a George Thomas design, and if you're interested, I have a whole separate video about this thing. And honestly, this is one of the first complicated metalworking projects I ever made, and I made it before I had a lot of sophisticated equipment. I actually made it with my homemade milling machine. That's the converted shop smith that's a whole nother story. Actually, they gave the name Metal Mill 52. Anyway, it's a really cool design. You can look these up. I got the plans from Guy Letard, and I pulled it out of its little box here. I keep it in a little Whitman sampler box, but I pulled it out just to see if it would fit on there, and sure enough, very happy to see that it'll fit. I'll have to drill and tap some extra holes here, some different mounting holes for it, or make an adapter plate. I could do that, so to use the existing holes. But anyway, just wanted to show that it fits. Also, I did file off the bottom of this corner here on the Sherline machine, and now it's not tippy or rocky at all, so that was simple to fix. And this is my big accomplishment for the day. As you can see, I've got the whole woodworking workbench tabletop cleared off, and also I just put in an extra support post in here. Believe it or not, I one time rebuilt a small block Chevy engine on top of this thing many years ago, and I had sagged the tabletop, so that's why it wasn't flat. So I've just put an extra support post in there. I've moved the surface plate back, and now I'll have plenty of room for assembly and other things. My plan is that the Sherline mill and lathe will spend most of their time here, and they'll be handy, but it'll be a job to keep this all cleaned up. Oh, I also opened up the space over my woodworking tool chest here, so I have that a lot more accessible than it used to be. So real pleased with the progress today. I'll bring you back and show you once I've got the Sherline mill mounted to a base, and show you the end result. Well, here we go. Here's the finished product. I got the lathe out. I mounted both of them, the lathe and the mill, on little pieces of plywood. Nothing fancy here, but I did cut the plywood, make the edges smooth, plane them a little bit, put a couple of coats of polyurethane on there. So now, and as you can see, I've moved the granite surface plate back to the back end of the table because I rarely use it. I'll easily be able to slide the Sherline machines out of the way, and I can slide the granite surface plate to the front if I have a lot of work to do. Also, just speaking of sliding, I can also move the lathe around, can move that out of the way and have this whole area here for assembly space. So pretty happy with that. Hey everybody, well, this is the final segment of this week's episode. Wanted to show the finished product. If you saw the before picture, you can see how clean this work table is right now. Very pleased with it. I've got the granite surface plate. It's got covered with a nice protective coating, and it's moved back. It's on some blocks of wood there, so I can slide it around pretty easily. And you can see I've got the Sherline lathe put on a piece of wood, and it's over here, and I can move it out of the way if I want to use it for whatever reason. It's easy enough to slide out, and I can put it right to the front there or wherever I want on the work surface. There's the mill, the brand new mill. Everything's great. I mean, it's very solidly mounted now to a piece of plywood. I took both the pieces of plywood, and Sherline recommends this. I don't know if you can let me move the camera a little bit. Sherline recommends this, mounting it to a hunk of plywood, because you can move it around and it gives it a lot more stability. And I didn't do anything fancy with this. I did put a couple of coats of that water-based polyurethane on there, and I'll keep them covered up. For now, I have a collection of old t-shirts that I'll put on, maybe use something fancier later. But real pleased with how that came out, and excited. And I know it's not much, but a little weekend update, I guess, if you will, for my channel. So if you have any questions, please ask. If you're a Sherline enthusiast, I don't have much experience using these machines, so I kind of got interested in them when I built the corn. I bought some WW collets that I used in the grinder head on the corn. So I'd be interested in any comments that you have about Sherline. I know that's quality equipment, and I used to have a mill like that I bought from my friend Alan, and then I sold it like an idiot, and now, so I'm glad to have another one back. And anyway, have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.